I am live. It is Friday, November 17th. I can't even believe that it is almost Thanksgiving. Any of you? Anyone ready? Not me. Hey, so I'm trying something new today. I'm actually streaming on 3 different platforms to make it easier on me and also to reach more of you. So I'm not going to open with a song today dancing because there are all sorts of restrictions on what music can be played on which platform, and I don't want to risk any problems, but we will figure out a way to get music back into the opening. So in the absence of music, maybe you guys can just dance along, in your head. But good morning. I'm asking a favor to those that are on Facebook right now. And if you happen to also be watching on YouTube, this is the first time I'm going live on YouTube. Please give me a comment so that I know that that platform is working and you can hear me and my comments are working. Instagram, same way. We're still streaming the same way. So I see you guys all joining in. Good morning. And then if you guys could give me a little shout out on Facebook and YouTube and tell me if we are doing okay there, that would be awesome. Because I can't tell. I'm in Naya. Yes. All right. We're good. It is working. So good morning, everyone. It is Friday. And if you happen to be new here, I'm Dr. Trisha Pingel. I'm a naturopathic physician here in Arizona. And I am a adrenal fatigue expert known as the adrenal whisperer and sometimes the hip hop adrenal doc because I do love to dance. But I do believe that cortisol and the stress in our society is actually causing our disease. And the reason I'm here on multiple platforms and starting to stream to even more platforms is that I feel like we need to talk more about root cause medicine. We need to talk more about getting people well because our current system seems to want to keep people sick. And I think the best way to get people well is to empower you to know that you actually have choices in your healthcare and that you actually can do something about most conditions out there from a natural perspective. And so I really want to get out there and I want you guys to understand how much stress is impacting us and also that you don't have to accept the first answer to whatever condition that you are suffering from. There are a lot of things to discuss, a lot of things to learn, and I am here to help you learn them. Sound great? Yes? So this is a live Q&A, so that means we get to start pumping some questions out as we go. I don't see any yet. Any good mornings? Hello on Instagram. Is anyone ready for Thanksgiving? I am not at all. But I did send out yesterday a bunch of Thanksgiving recipes if you guys are as behind as I am. I might do my sweet potato one because it gives me something to do. So Naya says, our current system tends to treat the symptoms and not the cause. Right. So it's real easy to treat symptoms. You can walk in and say, I have a headache. And they're like, oh, we'll take this for a headache. But why do you have the headache? Right. So in a naturopathic world, I don't treat a headache because there are so many different causes of a headache. Anyone can give you ibuprofen, right? But why are we having the headache? And is it a sign that maybe we need to do something different with our health? Or is that headache going to lead to something else? So I tend to find that when we just treat the symptom, we may eliminate the symptom, but we're also letting the body create more disease and adapt to more disease. So my goal is to not only get rid of the symptom, but also give you a long, happy, vibrant life. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm older, I'm in my 90s, I want to be walking and dancing and playing with my grandkids or great grandkids. I want to be traveling. I don't want to be sitting in a chair, and so there's a lot that I have to do to set myself up for that. Right. We also have no idea how long we're going to be here. I could be gone tomorrow. I have no way to control that. So I've got to do everything I can to live today to its fullest. And I think a lot of us miss sight of that. And we're always trying to reach for the next thing and getting stuck in the past and worrying too much about the future when we have to just kind of be where we are. So I would love to talk about any of this. So you guys can throw some questions at me at any time. For those of you that are new, you'll kind of get the jive. For those of you that are here and have been following me and doing these lives with me for when did I start them? I started them during COVID because I felt like nobody had any answers. And many of you have been with me since then. So I just want to thank you for that. You're the reason I'm still here and the reason that today I'm streaming on a new platform as well. Hi, Kirk. How are you? I'm ready for Thanksgiving. I've got all the groceries ready to go. Well, Naya, come on over. to my house and cook for me. That would be great. Yes, I want to live well. What's going on Instagram? No questions today, guys? Are we quiet? We didn't open with dance, so we're quiet. That's going to be an interesting loophole for me because I do love to dance, but there are so many restrictions on what songs I can dance with. So there was one in my streaming software. I was laughing. Maybe I'll play it because you guys aren't asking questions yet. I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. That was the most like energetic song in it, and I feel like it kind of wants to put me to sleep. I don't know if you guys can hear that on Instagram. Yeah, not gonna work, right? Oh well. Anyway, what's new, guys? So I'd love to ask you guys. Obviously, we do live Q&As, and you guys have repetitively said, "Hey, I love these live Q&As; they're great." But I also thought maybe I used to do news reviews, like health news reviews. And I don't know if you guys enjoyed that or not. Happy to bring that back in. I'm taking suggestions on how you'd like me to run these lives. I love the Q&As and it's great. But I could also do topics, right? Certain topics every week. And I could also look at news and review. There's a lot going on. Naya has a question. Oh, great question. Actually, was just talking about this on Wednesday with a good friend of mine. Naya asks, here's her question. I've been hearing a lot about mitochondria. What can I do to support them? Great question. So mitochondria are basically the powerhouse of our body. They're inside our cells and they create energy. So I've said this before, but it's worth repeating. Our body has a product and its product is energy. Okay. That's how we get things done. That's how we digest food. That's how we restore our cells. That's how we grow our hair. That's how we lose weight. It's energy. It's energy expenditure. We create and release energy. That's our product. So when you have a conveyor belt making a product, such as this pen, and you're going along the conveyor belt and parts are missing, let's say this piece is missing or this piece is missing, it causes a problem in the end product. So this is basically what the mitochondria are. We have things such as oxygen moving down the mitochondria in order to produce ATP, which is energy. So here's some of the issues. Stress hurts the mitochondria. Okay, so let's talk about some stressors. Some people say, a lot of the research right now is surrounding COVID and mitochondria, right? And is it causing damage to the mitochondria? And the answer is probably, because it can be very stressful. At least the past strains were very stressful. I know during the initial stages of the virus, they were finding that those that had really significant presentations also had really high cortisol levels. Their body was under complete stress. So it makes sense that it would damage. The other thing is mitochondria are run quite a bit off antioxidants, right? Which comes from good food, low stress, clean air, right? A lot of the things we don't have, right? So how to support them? I really look at using a lot of antioxidants. There's a lot of research, obviously, and I'm sure you've read about on CoQ10, quercetin, but just some of the standards as well, looking at glutathione and vitamin C and stress reduction, proper nutrition. It takes time. There's a lot of specialty mitochondrial products out there that are great, that have, just overall support for the mitochondria. But ultimately, if you're getting damage to the mitochondria, my first question would be, why? Why are we getting damage? Right? My guess, stress, oxidative stress, stuff is going on in the body that's hindering the cells. So we really need to pay more closer attention to that. Adrenal fatigue is behind this for sure. Does that help? Did that answer it, Naya? I take a supplement called Mitocore by Orthomolecular that I like, which is just a general. Now, if you're someone who's had actual damage to the mitochondria, like you're really experiencing low energy, maybe you have a post-viral syndrome or something like that, you're going to have to do way more than that. I know there's some research on PQQ and also detoxification, parasites, things like that. Any type of gut health issues are going to have impact to mitochondria as well. So really supporting the gut is going to be incredibly important as well. There we go. All right. Question on Instagram. What do you think about true black seed oil? Professes lots of properties. You mean cumin black black cumin oil. Is that what you're talking about? The antiviral? It tastes horrible. That one? Double check with me. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right one. I think bouncing between lives and fixed topics and Q&A would be great. All right. Thanks, Naya. Good morning, Erin. What's the best time to take omega-3 and the best way to store it? Storage isn't so much of an issue. I have a little trick for taking omega-3s for those of you that think they're too fishy. Anyone think they're too fishy when you take them? Number one, a really pure fish oil won't have a fishy taste. So the first thing you would do is look at the label. Is it really a pure omega-3, or did you pick it up from a huge store that claims it's an omega-3, but it's full of a bunch of fish guts? So that's the first thing to check. Is it a pure triple distilled fish oil? That's the first question, if it tastes bad. Number two, if you still are really sensitive to that flavor, freeze it and take the capsule frozen, because then it will melt slower in your gut and you won't have the fish burps. Anyone else get the fish burps? Okay, so that's number three. The best way to take it, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can take it in capsule or liquid, but it should be a liquid inside of a capsule, if that makes sense. And as far as timing, it's a fat, so it's usually best to take it with some food, although that's not an absolute. Okay. Hope that helps. What is a good omega-3 brand? Ones that are over the counter that you can find at most places. Nordic Naturals is a good one. I don't know a lot of the ones that are more commercially available. I like Orthomolecular. I like Pharmax. I'm trying to think of the ones I use. Those are them. I actually prefer not to use an omega-3 supplement unless you're trying to treat something specifically. So if I have someone with a really severe depression or someone with a actual omega-3 deficiency, I will treat with capsules. But typically I like to just put it more in food. If you're eating a lot of nuts and seeds and seafoods and things like that, that are avocados that are rich in omega-3s, and you have proper digestion, you should be getting enough. If you're not, then I would supplement. So I don't supplement it a ton, but when I do, I use Orthomolecular primarily. Carlson fish oil, good choice. Yep. Come back to the black seed oil, because I'm not sure if we're talking about the same one. If you're talking about black cumin oil, like that was really big during the viral time during the pandemic, I can speak to that a little bit. It tastes like motor oil, which is a problem. Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah. Exactly. So she says, tell me more about black seed oil, Nigella sativa, organic cold pressed with thymocyanine. Right. So this was used a lot during the pandemic. I used it personally. It tastes like motor oil. That was my biggest complaint. Did I feel like it could have an impact during the time of really rampant viral spread? Yes, I really do think it did. The study supports that it did. Would it now? I don't know. Right? I don't think many of us are using it right now because the strain is so muted. But there is a ton of research on it. It's one that's more up and coming in research, more recent research. My biggest issue is the taste. You can get it in capsules, I'm told. But I tried the liquid and like, I'm not kidding. It literally tastes like motor oil. And I've never drank. I guess I've never had motor oil. I've smelled motor oil. Have you tried it? Did it taste like motor oil? But the reason why it was so well studied during that time of the pandemic was because of the quinone, right? So looking at the biochemical product in there that would actually kill off that particular strain of virus. The current one is so much more cold in origin, like a common cold. I'm not sure if it would have that much of an impact or not. I use it topically for knee pain and skin conditions. That's interesting. Yeah, you can teach me some on it. Braden asks, do you have a recommendation for a good adaptogen complex? Yes, let's first talk about what is an adaptogen. An adaptogen is an herb that helps balance adrenal function. So it helps manage stress in our body. And I talk about this a lot, guys. We sit here and we immediately think, am I under stress? Oh yeah, whatever, but it's normal. We normalize stress. And the bottom line is these external stressors have an internal stress impact. So it has a physiological reaction. So adaptogens can help our body adapt to that incoming stressor. Now, if you use them in conjunction with also mindset exercises and learning how to set boundaries and how not to let these things kind of invade your space, even better. But adaptogens will basically take that incoming cortisol and help balance it out to a regular rhythm. My favorite, I mean, this is all in my private line, guys. I mean, my private line only has 9 supplements, 9 or 10, but they're all focused on adrenal adaptogen support. So I have Total Energy, which is a fantastic adaptogen for the daytime hours. And I have Total Stress Support, which is a fantastic adaptogen for calming cortisol to help sleep, to bring down anxiety, to help focus, actually. Here's a question. How many of you think if you're having trouble focusing that you need more stimulation? Anyone? Most people say yes. If I'm having trouble focusing and I have brain hog, I must be tired. I need stimulation. No, you're wrong. You actually need to calm the body. Your body is overstimulated, which is why it's missing details, right? When we're calm and we're focused and we're in our zone, that's a calm state. That's a parasympathetic nervous system state. It is not a sympathetic nervous system state. It is when you are grounded and focused that you get everything right. So something like Total Stress Support to calm the adrenal glands is what we're looking for in that type of situation, right? We see this all the time in kids with focus issues, right? The standard model says give them a stimulant, right? The naturopathic model says calm their body down. They're overstimulated, right? Whether that be by dyes, whether that be by environment, whether that be just by them staring at video games all day long and phones and buzzing and YouTubes and all that, right? They're overstimulated. And our treatments involve more like glycine, which calms the body, lowering cortisol, which calms the body, which helps them focus, removing dyes. Conventional world says give them methamphetamine. Any other moms out there have an issue with this? Giving our kids methamphetamine? I do. All right. Thank you, Dr. Pingel. That was very helpful. If I can only afford one or the other for now, which would you recommend first? I don't know. I don't know your particular situation. If you're someone who tends to be overstimulated under a lot of stress, I always say start with the stress support because it's better to be in a calm state than in an overstimulated state. And there's 60 capsules in them. So it's a 2-month supply. I think it comes to about $30 a month, something like that, maybe a little bit less. And if you do it on Subscribe and Save, you get 10% off. Right, through my store. And if you bundle 3 or more together, you also get 10% off. Hi, Erin, how are you? All right, here's a question. I have a family member who says he feels like his body is shutting down when he drinks water or liquids. Any suggestions? Maybe he is so dehydrated that when he finally drinks water, it causes an interaction. Shutting down is a really powerful word to me. My mom's body shut down when she was dying, right? In the last 12 hours, her liver enzymes, her liver shut down, her kidneys shut down, her heart slowed down. So shutting down to me means that the body is dying. I don't think that's what you're alluding to. So I guess the question would be to investigate more. What does that mean, shutting down? I can't answer that question because I'm not sure what that means. Slowing down, I don't know. Everyone needs water. Perhaps they are dehydrated. I wish I knew how to answer that one, Erin. I just don't know. The body will not shut down from drinking water. So there has to be other processes going on. Are there other conditions overlying with this? Are there medications on board? Like these types of things do play a role. Mindset issues. If you tell the body it's shutting down, it will shut down, guys, by the way. Any of you believe in the power of your mind over your health? That's a question for you. Do you believe that your mind can actually dictate your health? Give me a heart if you think yes, or a thumbs up. I actually believe it fully can. I can't believe that we're always in control of everything. Sometimes we just have to accept where we are, what we're going through. But I do believe that we do have a choice on whether we're going to let something take us down or not, right? So if somebody says, well, I can't do that because of that. You're limiting your own self, right? And so a shift of mindset can have a pretty strong impact on your health in that case, right? I don't really let anything hold me back. If I get sick, I'm like, well, I'm sick. I guess I need to rest for a few days. I'll be back in a few days. Where other people may say, oh, I'm sick. I'm never going to get better. Oh my God. Ever since I got sick, I got this or that, right? So mindset does make a huge difference in your health, I believe. Mindset is everything. Yes, everyone agrees, right? It is huge. So to answer your question, Aaron, my question would be, if someone's saying my body is shutting down when I drink water, I would say, why do they think their body's shutting down? Shutting down is a pretty powerful thing. If they're speaking and able to communicate that, I'm guessing it's not shutting down. So now we have to look at what exactly do we mean by that and how do we switch that? Aaron's following up by saying he has a mental illness. So wondering if this is in his head. Right. So they're good. My point. Thank you for the extra information. My point given right there, right? Power of positive thinking is so valuable. I agree. And let me be real for a second, because I think sometimes people think that I just live my life in some positive bubble and nothing ever gets me down and like I'm living in a false world. I'm not, man. I'm a mom. Okay, I'm a working mom. I have teenage children. I have a husband. I have multiple businesses. I have life outside of this. Life is not always great. Life is hard sometimes. But I do believe that by going through hardships and going through troubles, you actually have an opportunity to be enlightened and to grow and to pay whatever you learn forward to somebody else to help them through something. So when I say a positive attitude, I'm not saying you run through the world saying everything's happy and hunky-dory, but perhaps you look at the world as an experiment, as something you have to go through in order to grow, and that you're going to try things and they're not going to go great all the time. And that's cool. That's part of the process. So it's not about just being happy, which I am, but it's about really looking at how can I take this situation and make the best of it and accept it and understand it and grow from it. And here's the cool part with that. It will also reduce your stress response. So you will live more time in your parasympathetic nervous system than your sympathetic nervous system, which means you will have less disease development because stress causes disease. I don't care what anybody says, pick a disease. If you're under stress, it will get worse. Right? And then a lot of people argue and say, well, it's good to have some stress. Yes, for short term, sure. Right? If you want to go for a really hard run, if you're a triathlete and you want to put your body under that stress temporarily to do that, it could have great benefit. But chronic stress is not a good thing. Okay, for disease development. It will cause disease. Yeah. Coming back to the point we talked about earlier with the stimulation, overstimulation, understimulation, is brain fog over, understimulated? Naya says, I need quiet when I'm overstimulated. I sometimes wear earplugs around the house. I'd never give my kiddo meds that would alter who she was. Yeah. Once again, I get overstimulated too because I have a lot going on, and that's what I do. I retreat. I'm a very social person. I'm a very outgoing person, but when I'm under stress, I retreat. And that's my body protecting me. It's saying, calm down. Let's refocus. Let's take a look at this. Let's say no to a few things this week, and let's just regenerate. In fact, one of the best things for me about the holidays is that opportunity, because business slows down a little bit. A lot of people freak out about that. I actually welcome it because I'm like, okay, it's slowing down a little bit. I can kind of spend more time with my family. After school yesterday, I was able to pick up my son and we went, to a vintage store and we walked around and look at silly vintage stuff. Do you guys remember the Fisher-Price record player? The 1978 vintage record player. So we found one of those and it was so funny. I started laughing so hard because I used to listen to this record, the My Little Pigs record on it. And I used to listen to Alvin and the Chipmunks. Do you guys remember when Alvin and the Chipmunks did albums? And I used to listen to that on my little record player and carry it around. And so my son said, I want that record player. So we bought it. We bought it $30. It works decently well. I have a couple little repairs to do on it, but I had so much fun and I was so grateful that I could just spend the afternoon with my son doing that, where maybe other times of the year, my work day is a little bit longer. So there's a lot of gratitude to be had during the holidays. And I know a lot of I've lost my family, other than my below me, everyone I grew up with is gone. And so holidays can be really hard, but at the same time, they can also be something to be really grateful for, because you get to spend time and create memories with other people, perhaps, whether they're in your family or not. So I'm just waiting for more questions. I'm just filling time. You guys have any more? Throw them at me. Once again, if you happen to be on YouTube, introduce yourself. This is the first time I'm actually streaming live to YouTube. I did revamp some of my YouTube channel yesterday. I'm going to try to get on there more. I would love all of you to support me. You guys have been so awesome with supporting me on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a YouTube person, if you would be open to subscribing to my page, making comments, sharing with others, I would be ever so grateful. And I will start streaming there as well and putting up some more shorts and educational resources for you guys, because it really is a long time coming. I did it for a long time and then just kind of like, I got too busy. I have Hashimoto's and my antibodies are 5,475. How can I bring them down? So a couple things with Hashimoto's. So let's talk about Hashimoto's antibodies. What are they? So Hashimoto's means that you are creating an antibody against your thyroid. So it's technically an autoimmune disorder. Here's what I found about Hashimoto's. Adrenal fatigue has a huge impact on not only the number of antibodies, but also whether or not they give you symptoms. So I could have two people with Hashimoto's that both have antibodies of 500, and one of them is thriving. They feel great. They have no problems. And the other one is gaining weight. Their hair's falling out. They feel like crap. They have all these problems going on. So I don't 100% think that it's the number that's so much of a concern. But what I do find is that the person who's feeling great usually has lower levels of reverse T3, higher levels of free T3, and well-balanced adrenal hormones, where the person who doesn't does not. They have high levels of reverse T3, poor adrenal function, lots of stress going on in their lives. So remember that stress ties into our immune system. Stress ties into our thyroid. So the first thing you do with Hashimoto's is start to address your adrenal fatigue. Yeah. I do have tons of resources on this, hun. So check out my website, drpingel.com. You can start there. My program, my Total Energy Turnaround program, definitely helps reduce stress. My book is a great place to start. Do you guys know I have a book? Do I have one to show you? Okay. Total Health Turnaround. You can buy it on Amazon. This is the newer version, so look at the cover because there is an older version as well. And then it's also available from my website. So go to drpingel.com and you can find it, okay? I love your book. Thanks, Naya. So if you're looking for a resource to learn how to reduce your adrenal fatigue, how to change your thyroid function, how to change your blood sugar, how to lower your cardiovascular risk, how to boost your immune system, how to sleep better, how to have a better mood, how to reframe things, how to address your adrenal glands with nutrition, this is a great starting point. $22. Okay? And I do have vitamin. I have a whole chapter in here. You're asking about what vitamins I would suggest. Whole chapter in here on that. Okay? It talks about each one and why. And if you want to look at a line that's geared towards what I talk about in there, look at my supplement line. Also available from drpingel.com. But the direct link is totalhealthapothecary.com. Okay? Yes, I have your book. I just got it. Perfect. What I would like to know is have you read those chapters. The chapter on thyroid. I mean, read all of them, honey, not just thyroid, because I talk about it a lot. But read the book and let me know how that impacts your Hashimoto's over time. I'd love to know. I'd love to get feedback. You guys write stuff down and send it to me. Share it. Share your feedback so we can help others. Okay? Because there's really a lot of misinformation out there. Would you agree? Lots of misinformation. So I really want to help people get well. So if you've read my book and it's changed your life in some way, or it's helped you understand something better, share it so that other people get that resource. Okay? Let's see. There was another question here I saw. Me too, all in November. Yeah, from the holidays. Yeah. I loved you in Zonia, and the app has helped me. Awesome. Do you guys know about the Zonia app? Zonia. So I just did a docuseries. I've done a couple of docuseries for Zonia. The first one was just released. It's called Ageless. And this is exactly what it talks about, guys. We talk about mitochondria. We talk about how to live longer, how to reverse disease. We talk about the blue zones and why their health is better than ours. And then I'm in a few episodes, I think 3 or so episodes, talking about the stress response and how stress worsens our longevity. So it's the longevity. It's called Ageless. It's on Zonia app. I just recorded another one that's coming out next year for Zonia on autoimmunity. So really excited about that. Naya says that Ageless series was fantastic. Awesome. If you guys want to check it out, my link in bio on Facebook and Instagram has a link to the Ageless series. I think I can put it back on there if it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it does. You might have to scroll down for the little icon, but you should be able to sign up for it. Okay. If not, I'll put it back on. I've lost all 6 of 7 family members, 4 in November, mother, baby brother, and both my older sisters. Yeah, it's hard. That's hard. I was looking at my content for December, and one of the debates was, do we want to talk about grief at the holidays? Because everyone says, oh, make the content light and fluffy in the holidays. Don't bog people down with serious concepts, right? If you talk to any content creators or social media managers, that's what they say. And I said, I know, I get it, but I'm someone who's lost everyone. So like they're hard. And I don't want people to feel like you're alone in that, because you're not. There's so many of us that have a hard time during the holidays. Anybody else? I have a really hard time. It's not the same. And I have to work really hard to not get stuck in that. Like it's a daily thing. Anyone else? It's hard. Love the book. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about grief, I think, this month, just a little, because I don't think we're alone, right? November is the month of Thanksgiving to help me. Yeah. Yes. Right. Other people dealing with it. I think there's a lot. And I feel like we go through these stresses, and I can't speak to men, although I think you probably go through it as well. I know as women, we try to do everything in the holidays. It's really like, especially us that are like professionals, we're like, okay, we got to get the tree up. Okay, we got to get this up. We got to get the perfect dinner. We got to get this. We got to get the perfect gift. We got to make perfect for the kids. We got to make this big show or whatever. When in reality, we really don't. The holidays are what we choose they're going to be. They can be quiet. They don't have to be this big to-do. I think we just put a lot of pressure on ourselves, don't you think, to do that? So we have a tradition every holiday that we on New Year's Eve, because New Year's Eve was a big holiday for me when I was a kid. And a very close family friend who I consider a grandmother would throw these huge parties with food and music and Santa Claus and karaoke and whatever. And it was this huge ordeal. Well, when she passed, I continued a tradition of doing a Christmas party in her honor. But on Christmas Eve, it's really quiet. So we decided every Christmas Eve, we get in the car, we make hot chocolate, we get in the car, the 4 of us, and we drive to a neighborhood down the street that has a bunch of lights. And we just turn on Christmas music, and we drive through the neighborhood, and we look at all the Christmas lights. It's very quiet. It's very calm. It's nothing like what I had on Christmas Eves growing up, but it's also really nice. Right? So, and that's how I help get through it. I look forward to that. I created a new memory. The stream's slowing down a little bit. You guys still out there? Aaron says, I lost my mom to cancer last December, right before Christmas. This past year has been the most difficult year of my life. It has been the most painful thing I've ever been through, but I'm trying to move forward and do good in the world and serve God. This Christmas will probably be very hard, though. Yeah. So I lost my mom on September 2nd, 2016. And although it's September, it's right prior to all the holiday planning. It doesn't really get much easier. I lost my dad. My dad was in a coma his last Christmas and throughout Christmas. And that was in 2000. And so he had a stroke in November, just before Thanksgiving, and was in a coma through Thanksgiving and Christmas before we had to take him off life support in early January, just after the New Year. So yeah, the holidays are hard, man. But that doesn't mean they can't be something. They're just different. That's okay. Change is good. You know. So yeah, but I definitely feel for you, Erin. Here's another question. What is the best supplement to deal with stress, and improved nervous system? And what do you recommend for stress management? So we've had this question a few times, guys. So let me go through what I do. So I am an adrenal fatigue doctor, and I believe there are 4 areas to heal your adrenals, okay? And it's not quick. I'll be honest, it's not quick. How long did it take for your body to adapt to stress and cause a problem? It took a while. So we can't expect our body to turn around in a week, okay? But it should be progressive. The 4 areas: nutrition, exercise that helps the parasympathetic nervous system, but also strengthens your body, supplement, and mind-body medicine. Okay. Nutrition. My book talks about this a ton. What nutrients are needed for adrenal fatigue? My program, the Total Energy Turnaround Program, if you want to check that out, we're just finishing up one round. I haven't released the next date yet, but you can sign up for the wait list if that's something you're interested in, where you work in a group program with me, where I'm involved. So we'll talk Q&As like this within that group, figure out what works for you. The Total Energy Turnaround Program goes through, it's a program that lays out what to eat, what mindset bodies to do, what mindset tricks to do, what supplements to consider in your current situation, and exercises for parasympathetic nervous system. My book also talks about that. Okay. My supplement line is geared towards this. If you go to my supplement website, it explains every single supplement. What is it intended to do? I can't really tell you which ones to take because I don't know where you are in this process, right? I do have an adrenal fatigue quiz. Anyone not taken the quiz? You can take my adrenal fatigue quiz and it'll give you some sort of guideline as to how much is your body impacted by adrenal fatigue. And then that gives you kind of an idea of, wow, I really need to get hold of this, right? I really need to do something. And that's where my resources can come in, whether it's my book, whether it's my program, or whether it's working with me one-on-one. So we have different levels for different budgets in different situations, right? Not everyone can work with me one-on-one, right? But everybody can probably read a book. Most likely. I do not have an audio version. So for those that can't read a book, I'm working on it. So that's where you start. I took ashwagandha in the past. Yeah, I like ashwagandha. I have it in my blends, in my supplements. It's a fantastic adaptogen. There's more to it though. So if we look at medicine, so let's look at medicine in 2 different ways. Let's look at medicine as symptom treatment versus root cause adaptation. So if we say, I have adrenal fatigue, what can I take? Well, you can take ashwagandha. That's treating conventionally. That's saying if you take this supplement, you'll get rid of your adrenal fatigue. That's a lie. You can't, your body doesn't just pop ashwagandha and all of a sudden wake up with perfect cortisol levels. It doesn't work that way, right? Now, if you look at it from a functional perspective, from a root cause perspective, and you address those 4 areas at the same time, your body will actually learn to regulate its own cortisol levels and rebalance that stress response. And that is a long-term fix to where your symptoms start falling off. You don't have them anymore. You no longer have brain fog. Now you're sleeping well. You have better energy. Now you're losing weight. Now you look better. Now you feel better, right? Those things happen over time. So I would encourage you not to just look at his adrenal fatigue as supplements. The supplements are a part of a 4-step process. Okay. So if you're in a situation where you can't do all 4, start with 1. That's good. And then talk to yourself about what you're going to do next to add to it and keep complementing it on top of it. I have a ton of research on supplements on my website. If you type them in, like I said, my supplement store has a ton of research. I have videos on this. My book has a whole chapter that breaks down. I'll give you an example. Like it breaks down zinc. Why do we need zinc when we're under adrenal fatigue? You know, why do we need selenium? What's up with magnesium, vitamin D? Why do we care? Why does it matter? Why do we have to do this? Right? Talks a lot about I have a whole chapter on how the medications we prescribe in America are actually making us worse, and they're worsening our adrenal fatigue, which is why we continue to get more and more sick when we take them. On Shashandra berry and holy basil and lavender and L-theanine and phosphatidylserine. Okay. I lost people on Instagram. What'd I say? I have 5 minutes. If you have a pressing question, throw it out there. The herb holy basil has worked a lot for me for stress, along with exercise, staying properly hydrated, reducing sugar, and avoiding caffeine. Very good. It does matter what brands you take, though. One brand helped me a lot and others didn't. I agree with you, Erin. Brands are everything, right? So if you want, and it's funny, If you want a high quality t-shirt, you're going to buy different brands, right? If you don't want it to fall apart, right? I mean, you can buy a knockoff of something or you can buy the real thing, right? And you see this in many different things. Why do people buy and use AT&T and Verizon instead of using Cricket, right? Like, right? You put more money into it, sometimes you get something better. Now, that doesn't mean that because the supplement is more expensive, it's better. I see a lot of people marketing really crappy supplements for a lot of money. So don't look at the money, look at the ingredients, look at the inactive ingredients. I have an amazing article on my website about how to pick a good multivitamin, how to pick a good probiotic. I think both of those will give you a lot of insight as to what you're looking for on labels or not looking on labels. When you buy food, don't just buy it because it says organic, read the label. What's in it? What are you putting into your body, right? Really important. Love the Total Energy Supplement, says Erin. Thank you. Erin, what has the Total Energy Supplement done for you? Tell people how it's helped you. I'd love to know. I've come a long way. We have a question from Naya here. I've come a long way with my anxiety. I would get hives all over my body when I was stressed. Nearly 2 years later, I just get a small patch of hives here and there when I'm stressed. It has been a long healing process, but I'm excited to see where I will be in the next year. Yeah. Did you know, everyone, that stress will actually cause hives? But you go to the doctor and you say, I'm getting hives all the time. And they put you on a steroid, which is cortisone, which has an impact on your cortisol levels, right? So it may keep you from getting hives, but what is it doing to your adrenal function long-term? Right? Root cause. Why is it happening? Right? Ashwagandha really helps me sleep better. Me too. I take my total stress support at night, which is a blend of ashwagandha with bacopa, phosphatidylserine, L-theanine, one other that not coming to mind. But I take that at night every night. Because even though I've healed, I mean, I've done a really good job with my adrenal fatigue, and it's been years and years and years. Am I 100% yet? No. No, because I still have stress coming at me. Like, I'm still dealing with stuff every day. My life didn't just magically poof and everything went away. I still have to deal with stuff. So now I'm in a management phase, which is different. When you're trying to actively heal the adrenals, then you get them to a point where they're functioning well, but you're just trying to keep them managed based on the environment. So I still take my total stress support every night, but a lot less of other things, which is great. Okay. Hi, Mike. Thank you for everything you do. Happy Thanksgiving. Awesome. All right. Guess what, guys? It's that time. So once again, this was the first time I did a live stream on YouTube. If you were on YouTube, welcome. I do this every Friday, and I'll continue to stream to 3 platforms. I welcome questions. Maybe I will pick some topics. We'll kind of see how it goes. I would not be here without you guys. So if this is helpful to you and you like what we talk about and you have friends that you think would benefit from this, first of all, like my page, share it, write comments below it, tag other people, get people here, okay? So that we can have a really good conversation. It is my wish that people understand that there's more you can do for your health that's within your control. You do not have to rely on the conventional model to get well. You can do so many things at home for free. You want to know the one thing as I sign off that people have the hardest time doing, but it's absolutely free? Meditation. Anyone else? I have a really hard time meditating. It is absolutely free. And it has probably more benefit on my adrenal function than eating perfectly. And it's free. Yet we don't do it. We say, well, I don't have the money to go see a naturopath. I don't have the money to buy the supplements. I don't have the money to buy organic. Okay, well then meditate. Oh, I can't do that. Right? There's a lot you guys can do. A lot. And I want to teach you. So share, spread it around, say many thanks. Really helpful discussion. Thank you. Thank you for today. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I will be here next Friday if you guys want me to be here. I will be here on Black Friday. I'm not going to be shopping. I can tell you that. So I will be here my normal time next week. No problem. I don't really have any scheduled time off coming up. So for the next few months, I will be here every Friday as scheduled. Thank you to all of you for being here. Always, I will bring the music back for dancing when I figure out how to do it. But right now, the best music I have is Maybe this one? Oh, not a good one. None of these are great. But that's okay. All right, guys, take care. I will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Happy Thanksgiving.